Hello everybody, sorry for the poor quality of the recording, but I do not have a capture card currently, so yeah, therefore you have to witness my Metroid Dread uh, 80%, technically no major glitches, speedrun, yeah, but with this amazing quality. I'm very sorry for that. So yeah, let's talk about a few things very quickly. So I already have my save file created, but that I'm gonna go and run on. The reason for that is very simple. We can skip cutscenes if we have already completed the playthrough, and we create a new save file of that, which I did here. And then I watched the intro cutscene. This is also all by the rules of the leaderboard, and that makes us the intro cutscene is like nearly 4 minutes long and not really skippable. Therefore, we do this. But yeah, that's pretty much all for it. The run time starts once I hit continue. So 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, and we're off to the races. So Metroid Dread. It's a it's a new Metroid entry for these reasons. It's very cool. It's a very fun speed game and a very fun game overall. So yeah, let's just quickly talk about my basic movement. So I can shoot, I can jump, I can do a melee attack or parry, running parry, and yeah, and I can slide. That's all I can do as of right now. So we're gonna go and use that to our fullest advantage. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a running melee attack to just push that enemy away. We're gonna go into aiming mode, slide through there, wall jump, block it, slide, slide, and open the door. Cutscene, and manage through the cutscene as quickly as possible and don't save. But yeah, you see there's a lot of technicality to the run, and it's a very cool run for sure, to watch and to play. But that's also very, very difficult. So yeah, this is the parry tutorial. So you can parry in the game. And you can do so by using the melee button. The melee button once the enemy blinks. 2, 3. So yeah, what's going to happen next? Normally we're supposed to slide through there, but we can just do completely ignore that and just go and hit the block, or well, this block through the wall. The reason for that is, well, glitches. Oh, oh no. Oh, that was really unfortunate that this happened. Oh yeah. So yeah, what happened there is the slide is very unique. So if we sliding, we can kind of partially clip into walls. Not really anything too good on its own if you think about it, but actually very, very, very good. Because that gives us the ability to actually shoot through walls before we actually do away from it, as you saw earlier. And that makes us able to skip the very, very first enemy. This is an enemy, by the way, an encounter, and it's just a neat little time save. And yeah. And the second time we do it, we actually access this area, which we're not supposed to access yet. Um, well, not really this area, but the area previously. And it's the so-called early Phantom Fog. It's very important, actually, for time saving reasons. Yeah. It's a very difficult trick, though. It requires a lot of practice, but I've gotten pretty good. Alright, so now we have more blobs to take care of. Use this blob, slide through here, slide down, slide off the ledge, another ledge, and up, up, up. This is the cutscene that it cannot skip. Oh, it shows up. It's the cutscene that, oh, look, there's something hidden here. Yeah. I just want to go and run from the enemy. And now shoot one way through here. Slide down and just go straight to the left. A few enemies I want to take care of. pretty much the intro sequence of the game. I'm gonna go and slide through here and go down, jump a little bit because jumping is actually a little bit faster in the water. And yeah, and there's another blob here that we need to shoot because well, a little bit finicky. This raises the water level in this area a little bit, which makes it possible. Actually, no, it lowers it, which makes us possible to actually access this area again. And yeah, now I'm gonna slide through here, and I didn't get the enemy manipulated the way I wanted to, but yeah. So what we have to do is like just press this button and fill up the area below with water. You can actually progress through here. And then we just leave through the door, and we are at the danger zone. And yeah, so this is a red door, which means I require a missile to get through here. Yeah, pretty much it. And we get the very first upgrade, which is charge beam. Charge beam. Alright, so what does charge beam do? Well, we can charge our beam now, which is pretty nice. Yeah. And it makes us able to progress through charge beam doors, which we weren't before. And one of those was right here at the very beginning. So we progress right through here. We pick up the very first E-tanks. E-tanks are quite important in the game because the enemies, they do a lot of damage and we don't want to die. For obvious reasons, it's kind of slow. But yeah. And we respawn. So yeah. Going to use the more rockets. Get through here as quickly as possible. And now we're going to go and access the area that I unlocked earlier, the Phantom Cloak area. And it's called Early Phantom Cloak for a reason, because normally we are supposed to get the Spider Magnet now, but by this we can just completely skip that. However, because I messed up my movement earlier, I don't have access to enough rockets, so my rockets do really count in this boss fight. So yeah, his head is his weak point, so I'm gonna try it to hit as much as possible. Perfect. That was a really solid first one. Then low now. Buff is now low again. I want to go and destroy this as quickly as possible so I get another ammo refill. I'm going to go and do a counter, so I'm not going to shoot him because that's low. I'm going to just go and take tankers. And sadly I'm out of ammo, but it's fine because I just couldn't rebuff it in time. Normally if I would have more rockets it would be a little bit easier, but yeah. Now we got Phantom Cloak, our next ability. So, Phantom Cloak. What does Phantom Cloak actually do? Well, it makes us invisible, which is useful for two things. First of all, evading the enemy, and those sensor doors. Because they can actually see us, but they can't be invincible, or invisible, not invincible. And also you can combine the slide with the stealth, which means I can actually go a little bit faster than just by walking. Yeah, I'm gonna go and charge up my charge drop here right away so I can actually shoot this guy. Yeah. I'm very low on health, which is very bad, but it's okay. I'm gonna go and try to kill some enemies on the way without getting hit, which should replenish some health, and of course I'm gonna try to do that without wasting time. But yeah, so what we're doing here is redirecting the lava flow, because there are a few doors that we haven't really seen in the enemy zone that are locked, and we need to unlock them. That is our not really what I wanted, but yeah. Now we have to talk to Adam again, and as you can see, the door here to the right, to the right, to the left, almost the same, is currently locked, but that's going to unlock very soon. Simply because we redirected the thermoflow in Naga, which opens up the door. So we don't want to save. We just want to put it here. Also, this area is later on blocked off by the game. Yeah. I want to go through this door. Yeah, and the next lava door, which opens up. Ah, that happens. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. Normally we can wall jump there and it's a little bit faster, but yeah. So this is the very first, I don't even know how they're called, mother brain copy world. I need rocks in the very first phase, because you can only hit them with charge shots and with rockets, but then you can just switch over to your beam, spam beam, which is actually something that is going to happen a lot in the run match. And now we are able to kill our first enemy. Normally it would have been the second one, but we skipped the very first one. Alright, so yeah. Really some optimal movements. I'm gonna go tuck the corner and start aiming at the enemy's head to destroy the shield plate. And once that's done, I'm gonna go charge the Omega shot and shoot at the head. And that destroys the enemy, and that gives us our first upgrade. Which, well, first upgrade from the enemy, and it's supposed to be the first one after the charge shot, but instead we get a third upgrade, which is the Spider Magnet. What does the Spider Magnet do? I think I briefly touched over it, I don't know. But yeah, long story short, we can now hold blue walls. So with blue walls I mean these. And that's really useful for some puzzles and also for progressing the game. And yeah, so this was the area that I was supposed to, that I dropped in from. And yeah, normally you're supposed to just grab this wall and then just go through this area. And now you were supposed to get Phantom Cloak if we sequence break. And I don't know why it didn't help to hold on to that. And yeah, now we're done with the current region. Therefore, we go and move on to the next one. And yeah, we have to use the Spider Magnet here to progress, and on the way we can shoot some enemies, because otherwise they would just knock us off. Wall jump here up, and yeah. Now we're done with Ataria. And we go to Barenia. No, Cathars. I'm mixing up again on locations again. But yeah. There we go. Alright, so what happens next now? The game is probably trying to push us to the right, but actually you don't need to go to the right but you can just go through the left. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go and drop down here. And we have to talk to Adam again. If you play Metroid Fusion, it's the same Adam in Metroid Fusion, I'm pretty sure.
Uploading data.
So time to mesh again. Yep. And skip the save in progress because saving takes no time. I don't know why I just messed that up so badly, but it's fine. But yeah, let's redirect the lava flow. Well, the thermal flow, so we can actually access the area below. Okay, there are just a few enemies we have to take care here. I messed up my jump here, which is fine. Yeah. Now we once again hold on to the elevator kind of platform. So just through here. And, so if you go through the doors above, you will have to deal with a lot of heat, which is not really fun to do. Yeah. You come out here to the right, below there, which way was gonna go out. There was a cutscene that you didn't see because I skipped it. And, yeah. So we're supposed to go through here. Oh, what? Yeah, I never had that happen before, ever. What on earth is that? Alright, so I got screwed over by RNG. We need to go through this door. This normally never happens, but yeah. Interestingly enough, it happens. Nothing I can do about that. Yeah, this is more of a pattern that I'm used to. I'm waiting here just a little bit. So the enemy just goes up there. Yeah. We need to go up here and through the door here, up. And we need to again redirect more thermal energy. And once again, we are going to be hopefully running into the enemy, which is now the first time I'm going to go use the stealth ability. Depending on the enemy's stealth. There it is. So yeah. You can't just jump over, but better safe than sorry right now. And yeah, I'm pressing our buttons. So we need to get some machinery moving and guitars. And we do that by pressing buttons. So yeah, I'm gonna go and clear the enemies while I'm waiting for the platforms to show up. Go. And yeah, more redirecting. I opened up the door because it's we want to go through there anyways. However, I did it very slowly. Normally, you're supposed to do it on the go, but I screwed that up, which is fine. Yeah, safe room once again, and we come back out on this side if you remember it. Yeah, now we want to just go straight through here and down through this door. We'll jump a little bit. And there's the enemy zone door already, so we're gonna exit. Right, that wasn't the smoothest movement, but it was definitely movement. More Adam. The first few times you still have to talk to Adam, not every time you access the safe rooms, but eventually it just stops. It'll take some time. We do not say. We don't want to say. Sometimes it also can happen that the enemy is right here, which is also really bad for us. But luckily that wasn't the case, and we can once again press more buttons. So here we have to go through here below the lava to press this button. That button lowers the lava. Well, it starts more machinery in the room we were earlier. And by lowering the lava, it lowers the heat, and we can also now access this area, as you can see here. So now we have to once again backtrack to access this area. So we're gonna go do our best to do that. Again, I'm sliding, gonna wall jump here. I'm holding charge beam here because holding charge beam gives you well, kind of weak smart beam. Yeah. I'm gonna go and just jump behind the enemy, which is kind of work. That helps us to simply do it on that's really bad. There we go. But it's fine. If we open up this area, this door, now we can grab to this ledge, or bring the ledge, the wall. Progress. Taking damage right now doesn't really matter. The reason for that is because I get another E-tank here. So second E-tank, and E-tank's also fully healed, which is pretty nice. There are also E-tank parts, which kind of act like heart containers. If you want to compare to a different Nintendo game. It's not really amazing. They just waste a lot of time if you collect them. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go and hold the charge beam and jump through it. I sadly did not jump properly. Normally, if you jump properly and have the charge beam charged, your budget spark attack should take care of that, and you shouldn't get damaged. Alright, so now I'm on my way to the wider beam, which is our next upgrade. And we're accessing our third area. The game has quite a few areas, and we have to backtrack quite a few times. In the current any percent route as of recording this, we are, however, able to skip a lot of the mandatory items. And no major glitches. I want to keep saying New Game Plus, but no major glitches. Doesn't have the same luxury. It still has to collect a few different abilities and upgrades to progress through the game, because there's quite a few things that block the progression unless you do some tricks to skip them. Here we go, and slide off again these areas. Now there are a few new enemy points introduced. Namely these blade spinning things. Yeah. There's a bomb showing up, then go destroy it for some extra health. And yeah. We're gonna slide off here. This area has no power, so we need to power it all back on. And this is the theme in this area basically. So I'm gonna go press the button to power on at least this part of the map. Alright, so now with power returning, we can also access some new areas. However, also some new enemies are now in this area, but that's fine. But yeah, now we access White Beam. White Beam is a neat little upgrade because it increases our beams from 1 to 3. So now we can do more damage with our beam, but we can also open White Beam doors such as this. Once again, I'm going to go on with the Parry and now charge shot. Charge shot to push that block. Use the damage boost here. And yeah. And now we face the next enemy, which is the very fast enemy, which we luckily only see right here. But yeah. I don't know what it was going for, but basically we encounter that enemy, but we do not have to actually fight that one. I forgot to explain. We deal with it a little bit later. Go. And now we backtrack once again. Back from Dyron to Kataris. And Kataris, now we have the ability to kill the enemy. Because if you haven't spotted, or if you were observant early on, there was a door that was basically wave beam locked. Wave beam. Why do I keep saying wave beam when I see white beam? When I mean white beam. But yeah. The white beam door is now, well, no longer an obstacle, as we can just simply destroy it. Also, a few of the white beam blocks can now be pushed. And yeah, it's basically intended for us to go back. Yeah. So we do that. Alright, so now let's go and continue. And the white beam ball was just here, this one right here. And yeah, now we can go up here directly and wall jump all the way to the next Mother Brain budget version. There we go. I was very sloppy, but in the end everything is fine, smart. But yeah, so now, once again, I have to melt this metal plate off and use the charge blast to blow open the door. Then we stand right still, go directly into 3A mode, shoot through here, and continuously shoot the enemy or through this block. And that should basically mean that we, yeah. So now we can take care of the enemy right away, which is pretty nice. And this enemy is Morphball. So now we unlock Morphball, which is very important because now we have a few more areas that we can progress through. So now I'm going to go to the left here, through this hole, and through this hole as well, and yeah. Continue to progress. I'm left. Yeah. So now we come out of the gigantic mouth, which is very menacing. But we cannot progress through the area, as you can see, because it's hot. and we don't have Parry yet, which is our gate, or the only thing that is keeping us from accessing warm and cold areas. At least warm areas. So, let's get Varia. So we go back to Ataria, and we can grab the Varia suit right there. Technically, you are no longer required to get Vario, as the current N% route is completely suitless. You can do that because there's an invincibility glitch in the game, where you can change into the morph ball, go into like full speed roll at the Emmy doors, and just when you're about to enter the Emmy door, you unmorph. You release the direction and you unmorph at the same time. If you do it properly, you get pushed back a little bit, or if the enemy is still alive, it will actually turn red as well. And boom, you're invincible. Enemies will still notice you, but they can't actually hurt you. Alright, so now... what am I doing? I'm pressing buttons. So yeah, this is an energy tank part, and as already talked about earlier, it's quite a shame to collect them. Because you can avoid them, all of them. And if you collect them, it's not really that great. Yeah. I'm gonna go and redirect the lava flow, thermal flow, and that initiates kind of an escape sequence. So I'm gonna go and do this escape sequence right away. Yeah. So it's all scripted, so it's everything is that's going to happen. So yeah, now we go here, we go there, something over there, and that's the escape sequence. I'm gonna go use the charge beam right away to open up that door already, so it's no longer a door that we cannot access. Well, then we would have to use another charge beam. It's a little bit faster to do it this way. Alright, so now we got barrier suits, so now we can actually progress through the hot areas. So yeah, now this door is just a normal door. And this is no charge door though. There's a 10 pack, missile pack there, but collecting it is not really worth it. Because, especially right now, I don't have any HP to do that. So yeah, now we go back to Qatar's. As you already saw earlier, there was a door, well, the red hot area you saw on the map really quickly there, which was not accessible for obvious reasons, because we would have died if we would have went there. But now we can actually do that, so that's also what we're gonna do. And also our next boss is approaching us slowly. The loading times are really bad on the physical version. That's for sure not really great. But yeah. They got a lot faster with the current patch. Alright, so we want to do the charge startup to destroy the block in advance. Yeah. And you can damage boost through those enemies, but we can't move up their major health, so that's why I'm going to play and kill them to get my health back. So yeah, there's some lava, which we should be careful of. So we're gonna take a little bit more damage, but that's still all fine and dandy because there's the enemy. Mod, let's go Parry. There we go. Get our health and our health right here. yeah, up to the next boss. It's great. So we're gonna go and start right over some missiles now. Alright, so this should be it. Yeah, that's the one. And now we just have to just try to. Okay. So a few things that can happen. So these claws here, you can just shoot them in the air. Yeah. Gonna go and attack us with some claws. And I'm gonna go and take the quick time rocket and give him a charge beam. And then continue blasting him. Ah, dang it. Normally, that's fine. The game is forgiving. Normally you can just jump over that attack, but I'm not sure about it exactly. So this is now really bad, so now I've got back again. There we go. So now the spider magnet platform comes down again. And so we're just finishing off here. There we go. Alright, so the problem with the invincibility glitch would have come here. Because once you actually finish the trade fight, the glitch lasts until you either enter an enemy door, until you enter loading zones, and will progress through areas, or if cutscene plays. So here there would have been a cutscene, and yeah, you would be stuck here, which is really unfortunate. Yeah. Well, we do have barrier, it doesn't really matter to us, so we can just progress right through here. Yeah, we use the teleporter now. Okay. Alright, so yeah, now we come to one of the first sequence breaks in the games. So right here there's a rear door you can exit. And then you can just jump straight through here. Do wall jump on that platform area. And just slide through here, jump again. And yeah. By doing this, we get access to grapple beam earlier than we were supposed to. Normally, the quote-unquote intended way is to get it a little bit later, and we are basically approaching it from the exit, which is also totally fine. But yeah. Loading times, loading trees. So, grapple beam. So we are approaching some very interesting territory slowly, or surely. Game is going to be a lot more technical relatively soonish as we unlock a few more of the abilities. Grapple is also very technical in itself, so yeah. And Grapple's right here. What does Grapple do? Well, Grapple allows us to open Grapple doors and jump through areas like these. And also we can grapple to spider-magnet door, well, not doors, platforms, wall ceilings, and all that kind of stuff. Which is once again a bit faster. So now we go travel back to Darwin and continue our progress as intended. Yeah, the problem of grapple, or not really the problem is, grapple is mandatory to progress in the game. A lot of later things are locked behind grapple doors, which right now I don't know if there's a pictures to finish. Well, which I don't know, it's like I haven't heard about anyone finding that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go slide off this platform and jump in the right time, and then we unlock in the air to grab the ledge, and then we just do jump. We'll jump from the ledge. By doing that, you can just go quickly skip everything. So yeah, this is now Adam. Select Adam.
Uploading data.
And we're coming really close to actually getting our bombs, which are really important. But yeah, so what we can do now is use the grapple here. This area. Oops, what am I doing? I want to go up here, jump through. I'll jump up here and go through this door here. Normally we should be able to progress here as of right now because we don't have grapple. But as we do have grapple, we can just destroy that grapple beam block and get through this area. Why am I scrolling somersaults? There we go. Yeah. So now once again we restore power. So now we can actually access more areas, or like doors that were locked before they opened. Yeah, now we have to go up again. Once again, use the melee to put it there. And now rocket and normal shot takes care of this. And this is the bomb. Bombs are very, very useful for the run. And overall really cool. You can of course do infinite bomb jumps. Proficient with that, like this. Continuously chaining them to get up. But they are also very useful later on in traversing water, which I'm gonna go show in a second. Yeah. Now we slide off, we go through this chute. I don't know how they call it actually. Yeah. Use the grappling hook once again to progress through this area. And shoot. Block. I'm gonna go use the parry here to destroy the mines. Destroy the next mine as well. Take some time. Or jump here. Screwed up the movement. That's fine. Hello, can I please go through there? now we actually access the next area, which is Verenia. This time though, for sure, pretty sure. And Verenia is, fun fact, one of the few zones that actually does not have an enemy in there. Surprise. And it's the water area, so it's lots of fun, unless you have a gravity suit. But yeah, we're gonna go and unlock one of the very important abilities relatively soon, which is really nice. Yeah. Gonna go and morph up. The reason why I'm doing that is because those enemies, they basically create a vortex and suck you in. And yeah, they also suck in bombs that you drop. So I'm gonna do that instead, so they don't hit me, but they instead die from the bomb. Another atom, so simply just skipping through this as fast as possible. Right, excuse me, sorry, neighbors. Mute the audio real quick. So now, this is the water area. It's really unfun. Gonna morph up here 2 times. And yeah, so the enemies get through there. Those flying enemies, they take 1 charge shot and 2 rockets, so I'm trying to do that as quick as possible. Yeah, you can, you saw the door above there, you can actually progress through that door with infinite bomb jumps, but they're very, very, very difficult to pull off, very, very difficult. Yeah. So now we unlock Flagship, which basically allows us to really quickly shift and dash through areas. And us, oh, damn, that was bad. Happens. So much backtracking. And these doors you see here that have a pressure plate, you can normally not progress through them. But now we can just dash over that, like this. Okay. So now we're gonna see the first really good usage of bombs. Ah, come on, don't do that. So yeah, we have to destroy those 2 blobs here, and climb back up. Gonna go damage boost with it. That's fine. And yeah. So now, normally underwater, you have a lower bomb jump height. You have generally a very low bomb jump height. But what we can do there is use a bomb jump underwater, unmorph while mid-air, and jump, morph in air, drop a bomb, unmorph, jump to that position, morph up again, and get the bomb jump, and then unmorph to get some extra. We cannot do infinite bomb jump otherwise. I forgot the bomb. But yeah, this is just a very small time save. Normally you have to go around, but this way you save a little bit of time by not going all the way around. Also, that block before, there's also pseudo, so shooting through walls. that you can do on if you don't have diffusion beam, because we were basically just able to shoot through that because we had diffusion, because we got to the crate. Alright, Diamond, back again. Yeah. That is not good. Bottom, please. Ooh. And now we do a Flagship wall jump. So I'm gonna go wall jump, a Flagship to the right, so we can skip some moving around everything. There we go. And that's this central unit. So yeah, once again, we have to the metal way and shoot star. And yeah, this is the speed boost Emmy, so it's going to be very difficult. So I have to perfectly hit it, and I think woo! Oh my god. Because as you saw, once you don't hit it, it speeds up really fast. And that's really unfun to deal with. So yeah, that was way tighter than it should have been, but that's still fine. So now we got access to Speed Booster. Speed Booster is pretty big, important, and huge. Alright, there we go. Nice. So now what I'm doing here is I'm going to go run and try to build up enough momentum. And I want to take the Speed Booster all the way here. So do a slide, do some wall jumping with it. And now I'm going to go and store it. Or not. That's fine. Yeah, we got some extra missiles. The extra missiles are very important. So yeah, now I'm going to go and start running. And here's something very interesting. Normally there's a cutscene, like a cinematic shine spark, if you just shine spark up. But if you morph, you don't get that cutscene. That saves actually quite some time. I want to stagger you. Yeah, now I want to build up enough momentum to go through here. And yeah. We go to our next area, which is Verenia. And we unlock more cool stuff. And so, Speed Booster or Shine Spark in general is very strong. The reason for that is the damage it does. It does either, it's three different things that can occur. Either you don't deal any damage, you half-life them, or you just insta-kill them. And already 50% damage of a maximum HP bar is really strong, especially against some bosses, which actually works. So we're gonna try to use it at every boss that we can. So, yeah. Hopefully we managed to put that off. We are now in one of the nicest looking areas for Renia. Yeah. Using the grappling stuff. We have to go through here. Stop the movement. So this is what happens if you don't flash shift over this. So I'm building up a little bit of momentum. We have now here gate that we flash shift through, and the cutscene, which I'm going to go and skip. And I'm now going to go and position myself here to manipulate that enemy, so I can charge, get a speed boost. That's really bad. So let's do this again. Let's jump up. And there we go. 2 times trying to start. All of his HP is gone. So another cutscene, we skip, and yeah. This is one of many mini bosses now that we encounter. This boss is common appearance. What is that? There we go. I'm doing this for extra missiles. Anyhow. Now we can go right back to Tyron. And we should be actually now able... Well, what we didn't see is... basically in this cutscene we met a Chozo that now open up a new area in Barinia, in the water area, so we need to backtrack all the way to that area. So that's what we're gonna do. So we went elevator. Okay. There's quite a few elevators here. Alright. Tyron, here we are again. So there's another Adam we have to talk to. Which I would like to avoid. There's no way around it. Technically, I guess technically there's a way, but nah. Actually, I don't think there's. But yeah. So now we open up the door. I'm gonna charge up a good beam again. Push that block away. What am I doing? See, you sometimes just still get lost in these areas. Very huge. Now I want to jump over. And now one more through here. And slow. It's fine. I thought I'd charge up the charge beam. Speed boost. Well, that's fine. But yeah, we used I'm sorry for not talking too much, but I had to focus just a little bit. But yeah, this is one of the longest parts now of moving in this game. And it will take a hot minute now to move from to the next progression point. But yeah. So what I did earlier is I used some speed boost movement to get through this area as quickly as possible. Yeah. Back to Barinia we go. And this is another E-Tank part. If I collect this, again, with those E-Tanks of James, and I messed up the movement. So what you can do is you can do a shorter wall jump to land on the platform, then morph while doing the next jump to basically keep boost. Why I did that? That's fine. Yeah. So now we're gonna see something called the photo. We saw that earlier already, but this is a different photo working. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna go and slide into the wall, flick my stick around, and slightly aim down. Come on. pause. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. There we go. It's a very difficult section to get right. Yeah. So what I'm doing there is again sliding right before hitting the wall and then spinning my stick around. So what happens then? Samus' arm cannon is just ever so slightly clipped into the wall. And by using a charge beam, I'm shooting a huge blob through the wall, trying to hit the blob again behind the wall. And this skips an entire boss by doing that, which is pretty neat. Yeah. Now we are in one of the most beautiful looking areas in this game. It's now the greenest, most green area. It's an underground forest. So run. Alright, and here we need the grappling hook to open up this door. I'm going to use the grappling hook once again to go through there. And now I'm using the speed boost. And giving giant spark. Now just spamming myself into them. Well, that did really just happen. And it's more than that, just unfortunate. But yeah, I shine spark into him, half-lifed him, and then I messed up the execution. There we go, let's try it again. There we go, let's try it again. Right, over him, style him. Come on. There we go. Yeah. This is how the fight should look. And you should never die there. But I did. That's just sometimes. Yeah. Also, another thing we didn't see is, but the guy we met in the cutscene disabled all enemies, so all enemies are currently disabled, which is nice.
Uploading data.
Another item, so quickly checking through the downloads once again. Saving. Yeah. Yeah, we are now on our way to our next upgrade, which is actually a substantial huge damage upgrade, and that is super missiles. Yeah. And I'll open up the store, go through here. Yeah. Super missiles increase our damage a lot with missiles. But it also allows us now to open up the doors that have a green shield around them, and only the red shield. So yeah, like this, and the key, I can now put this, open up this door. I can also open up this door. Yeah, now I'm gonna go and use this booster pipe to shoot myself out and open up this door. And progress to the next area. And this is a very interesting area. Elon gives us our next major and very important upgrade in the game, which once again allows us to access a few more doors. It's always some sort of locked doors and key situation in the game, so some keys unlock some doors. And the next big key is right here. We also finally meet another antagonist from the previous game, which you might remember if you played Fusion. And that is so the main enemy type in Fusion were X parasites, and now we have the X parasite type. They are stuck in Elam, and yeah, we see them here. I'm very low on HP, which is kind of dangerous, so I'm gonna be a little bit more careful to not die. But yeah. People get plasma beam. I'm very low, therefore I cannot nothing frequent. So I need to take these enemies first in order not to die. And yeah, and now Parry. And he also needs a little bit back. And yeah, now it's one of the chosen warriors, so I'm gonna go and just spam my beam. Spamming beam is very fast. You see here. There we go. And yeah, basically this counter sequence is the end to this fight. You can technically do this fight and end it without the counter sequence. There we go. But yeah, that takes time. It's basically once the enemy hits a certain threshold, counter off Parry sequences and you kill it. But yeah, now we walk back and we stop the speed boost here by just using the target aim. The But yeah, now we release the X into the world, so every single enemy in the game now is infected. So we don't have any more like the normal enemy types we had before. Now everything is just X parasites. And if you remember, or if you know a bit about the story, so basically the X parasite was like a big problem. That's why the Chozo created the Metroids to hunt down and kill the parasites. And yeah, so this cutscene that I just skipped basically shows us that the enemies are now enabled again, which is not cool. So now I've got to be actually careful again in enemy zones. I'm gonna go open up this door and charge a speed boost. And then wall jump Parry, and don't hold any direction, and walk up to the side. Adam, I forgot. And speed through, and I was able to speed boost through the room, which is very fast. Yes, at least 2 times. Once again, that's saving. I'm super slow. This is really bad. This is more than just unfortunate. There we go. I carried. So it's a little bit slow what I'm doing now, but I don't want to die. That's why I'm doing this now. Come on. There we go. should give me enough time. Perfect. Yeah. So this is sometimes a very difficult enemy zone to get through, but I have managed. So yeah, now I'm gonna do again the water bomb jump. Oh no, that's really bad. Because now the enemy position is actually really bad for me. Come on, there we go. I managed to do this. So it's very important actually here to open up the door. Because for the quick kill later on of the enemy kill. Yeah, I'm just gonna rushing through this fight. And yeah, central unit down, which means now they can meld again the door, and then use blast, open up the door, and yeah, I'm gonna go back to the corner here to speed up the speed boost. I'm gonna go into door hit, go up in the door, go through the other side, and start blasting. There we go. And that's the ice enemy. So, as you saw early on, this enemy attacked me and hit me with basically his side lines, which was basically an ice beam or an ice ray, and that froze me. And now we get ice beam. Ice beam is actually kind of a downgrade. It deals more damage, yeah, but there's some other reasons why it's not so good, and I'm gonna go and talk about them a little bit later. But they still technically damage upgrade. Because now the missiles deal, if I remember correctly, it was 400 damage, and 300 damage is just the super missiles. So yeah, technically you would think it's the damage upgrade. Yeah, but didn't charge my super, which that's fine. So now we can actually destroy those fire blocks, and that's actually pretty useful for us. And that's technically the only thing we actually use this for. So now we are going to get space speed. That's what I mean, space speed. Excuse me, my brain is all over the place right now. But yeah, as I already said, we're going to get space jump. Space jump is very, very, very useful. If you don't know what space jump is and you haven't ever played a Metroid game or watched one, it's basically the ability to just permanently jump. You get imagine Kirby or like basically I just jump, and I can jump forever and chain jumps, which you can imagine is really strong and useful in this game. Yeah, for that I'm gonna go into this corner, try to line up my kneecap like that. Yeah, and now I need to watch the animation. There we go. From the claw below, and what I'm doing there is I'm morphing into morph. I'm basically doing a running melee attack and instantly go into aim mode, which kind of gives me this weird position. And what I do then is I try to line up my cannon with my kneecap in a proper way, and then I'm looking for the claw blow to get a certain cycle. If I do this properly, and then use my and then morph, my shot is kind of in a weird spot and goes kind of through the wall and hits the enemy. The enemy is then affected by oh no, that's really bad. No. Okay, but yeah, the enemy then gets hit, and we use diffusion basically, the spread from the diffusion beam to the enemy. Now, what I did is something I haven't done in quite some time. And there we go, get back up. And yeah, normally what we do is we use the ice missiles to freeze the enemy, then stand on that enemy and use the bombs to open up the bomb block. And then we still stand on the enemy and just move up and crawl them through there. But as I kind of messed up the timing, I wasn't able to actually go through there in time, so the enemy unfroze, which then meant I would be hit, and then any other hit after that just kills the enemy. Yeah. But yeah, now we get screw attack, which is super good and super nice. In the current any percent route, screw attack is actually obtained very, very early due to a glitch, a camera actor glitch, which you don't see in my run, but I think we have some other runners who also submitted the game. You definitely do show it off. Oh, let me see it. Pull up speed. What am I doing? Having more rockets because I love rockets. Yeah. And now I'm going through the teleporter to go down straight into Altaria. And from there we're gonna go our way to Scruta. But yeah. So about that load active glitch, well, the camera glitch is you use the Parry cutscene at the very beginning from the game, and you can basically reload that constantly or like get it back. And if you kill the enemy basically before you activate that cutscene, the game will be then still play the cutscene, but you're stuck because you don't kill the enemy afterwards. So what then happens, every single actor in the game is unloaded except for the ones in that room, which means you can completely navigate to screw attack from there, but you have to do it all blind, just from audio cues, which is very impressive. Yeah. I'm gonna go up here through the upper area, and then I'm gonna go and use with a shine spark down to just go a little bit faster. And we slide through here, and now we enter the ice area. So actually, I kind of said something wrong, but we are actually not protected from ice. Like the only thing we are protected from. So yeah. So we have to be very careful because how the damage works from ice and from the heat in this game. If you stay in an area, that damage slightly increases every tick, so it gets more and more. So yeah, what am I doing now? This looks really weird, wonky. But yeah, what I did there is I kind of pushed myself with space jump against those corners, and what that did is I was able to just build up more height moment. Because for whatever reason, if you push yourself against that corner, or like those two corners, you just get high because you constantly go out of the water and go back up again. Very interesting. But yeah, now we got screw attack, which is very, 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 very strong. We actually get it earlier than we were supposed to. And now I'm gonna go and build up some speed and use this shine spark to get up. And now I have to repeat this again, pushing myself against. Oh, well, I lost too much right now. Yeah, pushing myself once again. This time down. Okay, I messed that up. So again, water bomb jump. And enough momentum build up. And now we can just go through here. And yeah, so now that we obtained this beauty, we can go and actually obtain gravity suit, which is the next big upgrade for us. For that we go back to Kataris, because the teleporter, we use another teleporter, which is located in Kataris, and that brings us back to Berenia, where we have gravity suit. And yeah, gravity suit is mandatory for one room. There's one room you cannot do without gravity, unless you do a glitch that is called access skew, which I am not proficient at. Access skew, long story short, gives us the ability to mess up the accesses, and basically when we start running, we run quote unquote out of the TV, so in front of us, like Samus is facing in front of us, so the exit are that screwed up. So we can do Shine Spark. Well, we can store Shine Spark or like run and get speed boost and then Shine Spark. And we store that Shine Spark, and with that we can use that in the end to skip a huge portion of the game, which is gravity suit, because that one area is again an underwater area which we cannot get out of, except if we would have speed boost. But there's no way to build up a speed boost outside of access speed now. But access speed is also a very difficult trick to perform, as it's frame perfect. But that's fine. I'm still learning those tricks, except same with the blind section. But yeah. So now we open up this door. We get some more rockets because there's no way to avoid them. So we have quite a considerable amount of rockets here to work with. Right, so now gonna go and build up another speed boost. So that's just enough room for speed boost. Oh, I screwed up. Alright, so now we've got to do the slow way and just walk all the way to this green teleporter. So what does this green teleporter do, you might ask? Well, it brings us back to Berenia. And in fact, actually quite close to gravity suit. Normally we were supposed to access this area once we have at least space jump. Screw attack is actually it is supposed to be locked behind gravity suit, if I remember correctly. But due to the sequence we did earlier, we were able to just bypass that entirely. But in the end, we're still coming back for gravity suit. So now we're in Berenia. There is a bomb block right here. Actually, a few bomb blocks. So I'm gonna go and destroy them. Oh no, this happened. Okay, this is something that sometimes happens. It's really annoying. Ah, come on. But yeah, so now this is one of the Shine Spark puzzles. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go Shine Spark here, release every button. There's a lot of actually things that are happening with it, what I'm quickly going to explain. So how does Shine Spark actually work? So you cannot hold any direction when you want to do that. When you want to do Shine Spark on it. So what I did there is I hold down, shot the blocks below me, then I pressed B without having any direction pressed and not being in somersault. And that allowed me to do Shine Spark there. Then I kept one and slid through something like a 2 block. Then I stored the Shine Spark once again. Then once I had the Shine Spark stored, I again dropped down the ledge, did a parry without holding any direction, just facing right, and then got the Shine Spark to the right. What does that do? Is like it makes it quote unquote instantaneous, which means there's no. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's good. Hooray! Cool. I'm smart. But yeah, very useful. Excuse me. There you go. Please let me go up. Of course, I'm screwing it up. But yeah, there's some more missiles here because we can't get enough missiles. They're really useful. And now I'm gonna go and show off how strong screw attack is. So you're in the middle robot. Sadly, we do not have the full ability that we had before. So you charge up the Shine Spark here. So we are forced to just use our screw attack to hit them. But screw attack deals a lot of damage, so we just need 8 of them to go through here. There we go, that's the quick robot fight. That can go horribly wrong if you're very low on HP, because while you do not take damage every tick, but you take basically every 2 times you do it, you take damage, because you damage boost once, and then you just once you do that, you can get a second hit into the enemies without taking damage. So you just continuously do that, and I think it was 8 screw attacks that it takes to destroy one of those. And they can deal quite a lot of damage. They deal a lot less damage now, thankfully, as we have 2 suits, as every suit gives us a little bit more resistance. But yeah, it's still a lot of damage. So yeah. Now we're getting actually kind of closer to the end of the game. Hello, can you please? Thank you. So now I'm gonna go open up the door, charge, Shine Spark, Parry, open up the door, and again start the sprint. There we go. I messed that up. Alright, so now I got to do this properly. Actually, no, that's too much of a time loss. Because, as I already talked about earlier, you deal half of his HP bar with just 1 Shine Spark. So that's a lot of damage that I'm now missing. And I don't want to miss out on that. go. Oh my god. It's really bad. Well, that's, I guess that's just unfortunate. Go. Again. Oh, that's really bad. But that's not too much of a problem because I can. This is not the real boss, so I can just go and mash through him. There we go. There we go. Now we actually have to fight. There we go. I didn't get the shine spark here, which is kind of stupid, but that's what it is. Alright, I'm gonna go and collect the upgrade, which is cross bombs. Cross bombs are really useful, and they actually deal quite a lot of damage, surprisingly, for bombs. They are basically, well, I can show them what they do in a second. So, because they're kind of mandatory to use, they are basically a very long explosion of bombs, and as already said, in a cross. Well, as the name implies. So yeah, they deal good damage, and they are actually useful for quite a few things. So now we actually enter Hanubia, which is kind of the final area. Kind of. As we see, there's our ship, and well, the story of Dread is, oh, well, not really the story, but the goal for us is basically to get back to our ship. So it's not like the usual Metroid game where you initially just come with your ship and then go and explore the planet from your ship on, but this time it's the other way around, kind of. This area is also really notorious for bad performance. Great. And we can actually skip Adam. And you saw Pseudus earlier with just a beam, but you can actually also do Pseudus with grappling hooks, you can see that. Because we're not supposed to actually go through this door without like from the other side. So we normally have to make this detour to go through this area. But luckily, we are in this position that we are right now, and yeah, we can just pseudo grapple and go straight through the area to the elevator, which brings us back to um, Frunia? It's not Super Metroid. I still have to remember the area names. It will probably take me some time. Frunia. Close enough. So, through the right here, we have some blocks that we can walk through. And yeah, so now another thing that is really great, since we have now our upgrade, what am I doing? Since we have now gravity suit, we can also access cold damage. So now we're immune to hot and cold damage. Now we want to go through the door here. Please open. There we go. Yeah. The enemy there is really annoying sometimes because of the way how the flamethrower and the knockback works in the game. Yeah. Luckily we can just mostly ignore that enemy. Yeah. From here we just have to go straight through the exit. And we are approaching Storm Missiles, which is one of the last upgrades that we get. And we get this upgrade right here. Nope. Go, Parry again. And open the door, charge the Shine Spark, and use against the boss. And the boss lost half of his HP. Now we just use Screw Tag to damage the next boss. And we got Storm Missiles. That's pretty good. Yeah, now once we actually have Storm Missiles, we can also progress through another type of door which we actually haven't seen, I think. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, so basically, Storm Missile allows us to basically mass aim at certain targets, and those doors that you saw there, those are locked behind that. What am I doing? Oh, my. Just like here, I'm gonna go target all of these points. Oh yeah, I need to charge the Shine Spark again. And yeah, once again, oh my god, there we go. And now I'm gonna go and use Screw Attack to finish up him. There we go. And we want to go through this door anyways, which is very convenient. And yeah, now that we have Storm Missiles, we can actually progress through this area. Because we didn't saw this earlier, but this area had actually you see to the right a Storm Missile door that we cannot progress through as of right now. So we're gonna go. Shoot open myself, and there we go, the door opens up. And this now is actually here one of the few parts where gravity is now absolutely mandatory. And that part is here. So this area here, there's no way to get up without gravity, at least as of right now, unless you do Shine Spark, which I forgot to charge to make this part really quick. That happens to be bad. Alright, so now I'm smashing through this guy as quick as possible. And now it's time for the Wave Beam Emmy, which is by far the most difficult one to fight. The space you have is super limited, and which is very difficult to control in time in that space. So, yeah. You can do a so-called Shine Spark String Clip right here, and then the entire area below is built underwater. which slows down the enemy significantly, but you're after killing the enemy, you suffer. But yeah. There we go, so now I'm going to go for blast at the enemy. Continue to do that. Ah, no. This is one of the most difficult quick hills to do. And it looks very easy, but it's definitely one of the most difficult ones. Yep. Right, so unlock, through here, bomb this block, wait here a little bit. Now the problem is because I did it so early, this bomb block is going to come back, so the enemy I actually deal less damage than last time when the enemy was earlier here. So now I need to reposition again, continue to shoot. Alright, so now I'm charging up the Omega Plus. That's a beam enemy. As I already said, it's one of the harder ones to do. It's actually, in my opinion, really difficult to do. Okay. Alright, perfect. So now we can finish the game pretty much. Alright, so now we come back straight at the other side where we entered Parry, and we are going back to Hanubia, and we are pretty much equipped with everything we need to do the final boss. But yeah, from the progression point on, there's only one more upgrade we are getting. Actually, technically, we get 2 upgrades, which are mandatory to beat the game. But yeah, the next point of progression is locked by power bombs. So we are going to get power bombs. Once again, scrolling through these enemies, getting through here, opening up this door, and now we have another cutscene that I can skip. And now we enter the enemy zone here. And we're going to start to fight the enemy, but in reality we don't. Oh, dang it, that was bad. I read that wrong, so long story short, they do a lot of damage, and they have 3 different. Technically, this enemy has 4 different types of attacks he can do. So the first attack he can do is swing his spear and then charge it with. The next one is he goes up. So this is one like this quick. So then he jumps up and then he touches down. And the next one is when steady jabbing it. Yeah, now he does not heal, so I can easily grab through there. Oh no, that's really bad now. There we go. Second time, I screwed up the parry. That can actually happen. So yeah, the quick. That means I get another shot, and if I failed this one, I would have also gotten. I could have just killed the enemy because it's just the HP threshold that it starts doing so. But yeah, we get now power bombs. So there's nothing that stops us from defeating the final boss. And the final boss is actually where it's getting the most interesting at, because we have ice missiles. Ice missiles are actually a downgrade in the final boss, and I'll explain in a second why. So first of all, we have now power bombs, which is pretty nice. So power bombs work by morphing and holding the rocket button pressed. I'm going to use the power bomb here before actually exiting this area. And yeah, now I need another power bomb, so we can go and spam it back through here. Oh, there we go. Got a power bomb. Go through here, please. And yeah, one is sufficient actually, but two is even better. So now here I'm gonna go and morph up this one. I'm gonna shine up with the morph ball again. Because it's fast, because once again it would be cinematic cutscene. I don't know if it's actually faster, I think it's gonna find that. But yeah. So now we fight the golden turtle, which is going to be quite difficult. Okay, I've never seen it start with that, so I will take it. So, no, not. I've never seen him doing that. There we go. That was a pretty good fight. Alright, so I missed very hard, and basically hitting 3 of your plasma wave beam shots just the best you can do. It deals the most damage, but it's really hard on your arm, and yeah. You can use rockets, but rockets are significantly slower in this phase at least. In this fight. There are some fights where you cannot spam where the enemies move to your normal beam. But yeah, it's not the case. So now we actually enter the final area, which is Eater Rush. So in Eater Rush, we just fight the final boss. And we're getting ready to do so. So yeah. So let's talk about the final boss. So the final boss is very interesting. So this boss, in the first phase, you can only damage him really in the counter, and you when you counter him, and you need to do a large enough damage in the counter. So, already really that. 9. So the missiles here, the ice missiles, do reduce damage and only deal 60 damage instead of 400 that they normally supposed to do. 1, 2, 4. Okay, please do. Perfect. now we've got mesh and sequence and perfect. That's phase 1. So he has a 2000 HP threshold that you need to get through, and there's only you can pretty much only mesh. Or if you have only super missiles, that works as well, which is kind of funny. You literally deal the full 300 damage from super missiles. This phase both deals the full damage. But it's much easier on your own to use missiles. I mess up. 2, 3. There we go, and that's actually this phase done. And we're once again technically faster to just okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 2, 3. And yeah, here you can just spam missiles. Spam missiles in the counter sequence is just no damage. But yeah, we need to get him down to a total of 3000 HP, and once we do that, he initiates counter sequence. 2, 4. There we go. That's the final counter sequence. So yeah, now it's a cutscene that you can skip, and that's very meek. So now we pretty much are very close to finishing the game, as there's only one thing standing behind us and the victory. Well, we see that in a second. I just loading screen again. So another cutscene we can skip. So yeah, now we got the final last upgrade, which is the Metroid suit, and yeah, now we the final boss Ravenbeak got infected by X, and that's the finale holding down X, feeding this huge monstrosity with our beam. But yeah. That's the final boss of the game. So now we have to escape. And how do we escape? Well, we use the Omega cannon beam that we just got to just decimate through everything. Yeah, that's basically the entire sequence. Just running away and destroying things. I didn't even know that possibility. So now we have to follow through. So now it's going to go right down and right back to the right, and down right, and now again to the left. No, again. And we once again try and spark up. And to the left we didn't see that earlier, but this was basically the door that prevented us from actually getting to our ship. And now that door is destroyed. I screwed up the transport. Yeah. So this is now the last little bit of the game, and yes, that's Metroid Dread. Yeah. Let's see the in-game time. Once again, sorry for the poor quality, but yeah. Better than nothing. Oh, just barely messed up too. But yeah, so also for people to see, it's a version 1.02, which is the newest version. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and yeah, have a nice day.